Doesn't food in anime always look so appetizing? So glistening and steaming. The details are always so exquisite, you can almost taste it. And who could ever forget the bacon and egg scene in Howl's Moving Castle? Look at that sizzle and the one-handed crack. For this project, I decided to make myself my own anime breakfast. I started off with some research, looking up pictures of strawberry-topped pancakes and what they look like in anime, to get a sense of what I'm working towards. I then worked out a storyboard with some key steps in the process of pancake making that I felt would be good to animate. I have the sequence of 4 shots. Very excited about the sizzling butter and that strawberry slice. And this time I did something I should definitely do more often when animating. I filmed my own reference, making sure that it's framed kind of similarly to the compositions that I had in my storyboard, and I got to enjoy some tasty pancakes after. I then made some keys for composition, which I used then to make some keys for color and lighting for my final shots so I can get a sense of what the final would look like. And now to start animating. I've got Blender opened up on a 2D project, bringing in my color key as a reference for the composition. I scrubbed through my reference footage to get a sense of some of the key poses for the hand, and I'm sketching them out. Now I have a few frames mapping out the whole action. I then drew this arc for the movement to follow. The little lines across it represent the spacing of the frames. And there's my tap, fully animated. For the egg, I scrubbed through my reference again and transcribed the frames across pretty faithfully as drawings. And I gave the yolk a little wobble at the end as a satisfying little detail. I'm setting up the base of my next shot. The shape tools in Grease Pencil come in handy here. I started out with making some keyframes for different stages of the melting. And now I'm using the onion skins and filling some of the frames in between. You could also animate this kind of thing straight ahead instead of drawing your keyframes, but I wanted to get a sense of the whole thing quickly. Now for the batter. I noticed how when it's pouring out, it's not really a steady stream and it tends to clump and drip. Of course, the pancake is expanding a little as more batter pours into it. And for the final settle, I pretty much animated it with the resizing tool, making it slightly bigger. I prefer to keep track of the things that move separately on separate layers. The sculpt tool is also super useful for adding in-betweens without having to draw the whole shape out, and it makes the animation pretty smooth as well. Now for that slice. Again, each of the elements that move separately has their own layer. The hand with the knife is pretty much one drawing that is entirely puppeted, adding a slight wobble on the strawberry halves as they fall and settle using the rotate tool. I've also added a slight squish to the strawberry and a pinch of the fingers using the sculpt tool. It's important to get the timing and spacing right to get a sense of a slice. First, it's a bit slow since there's some resistance by the strawberry, and then there's acceleration as the resistance is broken and the knife comes down. Adding some in-betweens on this hand, and we have a slice. The maple syrup that I had at hand didn't really have the right texture, but it's okay. The internet has no shortage of satisfying food footage to use as reference. Again, I started off by mapping out some keyframes, focusing on how I want the final flow of the syrup to look like. Make sure the last bit of the shot is super aesthetic. Making a sort of point of origin for a small puddle of syrup to spread out from. The stream is going to go across the pancake and to the other side and start pooling there as well. I'm allowing the syrup to collect a bit on the surfaces. Now I'm animating the stream. Again, the syrup clumps a bit as well, so I'm adding some blobs and variations in thickness to get that syrupy feel. I'm giving the strand a bit of drag to give it some weight. And it breaks off just there. I'm going to make it fragmented. And my animation is done. I'll see you in part 2, where I'll be taking the project all the way from this to this. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, if you want to hang out with us and other creatives, you can join our Discord. Thanks for watching. See you next time.